And good evening again, everybody, and thank you for watching. Seth Denny is in Lincoln at the Boys State Basketball Tournament for the weekend. We're brought to you by the nice folks at Subway, and we got a lot of highlights to show you tonight from the State Basketball Tournament, Day 2. And the West Point Central Catholic basketball machine strikes again. Last year, of course, Grant lost in the finals to West Point Central Catholic. This year, it was the semifinals, and the Blue Jays are a step closer to repeating as state C2 champions. And Grant, they'll finish the year at 20-3, and they're going to watch the rest of the tournament. Joe Swift is in Lincoln, filed this report.
The Grant season came to an end today the same way it did last year. A loss to West Point Central Catholic. 67-58 the final. Don't let the score fool you. It was anybody's game with a minute to play. Grant had a 2-point halftime lead. In the third quarter, Justin Williams extends the margin with a tray. Both teams really shooting well this morning at Pershing, and things were looking good for the Plainsmen. Paul Demmel's bucket puts Grant up 7. The Blue Jays come back. This was big. At the buzzer, the Jays get a hoop, and with 1 quarter to play, the Grant lead is just 2. Justin Williams again heats up to start the fourth. Back-to-back buckets, and Grant is up 57-51. But the Plainsmen are outscored 16-1 the rest of the way. Chris Wagner puts the Jays on top for good with 2.5 to play. The defending C2 champs force turnovers and tough shots down the stretch and post the 67-58 semifinal win.
Grant's an awful good ball club. We were very concerned about them. On paper, man for man, they probably are better than we are.
They're well coached. They play in a tough conference. They did a great job. They deserve to win the game. We played hard. I don't discredit my kids any there. We got great effort. Sometimes, great effort isn't enough. You got to be able to put the ball in the hole. You got to be able to take care of the ball. And we didn't do those things today like we should. So, down here you just can't make those kind of mistakes and survive. And we made those and we didn't survive.
Grant finishes the season 20-3 and says goodbye to 5 seniors that contributed to a 59-7 record over the last 3 years. At the state tournament in Lincoln, Joe Swift, News Center 2 Sports.
A couple of interesting notes on that game. All 5 West Point Central Catholic starters scored in double figures, and the Plainsmen led by 2 points at the end of the first 3 quarters. But they were outscored 20-9 in that final quarter, and they lose in the semifinals. Now an update on the tournament so far. 1 team from the viewing area remains to possibly return home with the state title. Paxton is going to the finals, and 3 teams ranked number 1 by the World Herald coming into the tournament all lost today. Let's go to the scoreboards now, and we're going to update you on as best we can. Lincoln Northeast was trying for a 5th straight state title. It won't happen. The Rockets are out. They lose in the semis. How about that one below? Brian Dunnigan had 2 3-pointers in the 4th quarter. Grand Island is going back to the title game for the first time, folks, since 1957. Final 47-34, the Islanders over Columbus. Now moving to Class B. 1 game is still in progress, but a bit of a surprise. Schuyler takes out Beatrice. A very frustrating game for the defending state champions in B. The Orangemen started quick, then fell apart. From the middle of the 2nd quarter to the middle of the 3rd quarter, Beatrice scored only 4 points, and they lose in the semifinals. Now, updating you on C1, Fairbury is in the finals. Easy win over Kimball. Lincoln Christian looking very powerful, 58-49 over Elkhorn Mount Michael, who, by the way, was ranked number 1 going into the state tournament. Now moving to C2, as you saw, West Point Central Catholic takes out Grant, and there's a surprise. Another number 1 team going into the tournament by the World Herald loses. Adams Freeman, we used to know him as Philly and Adams, loses to Donovan by 15 points. Donovan 85, Adams Freeman 70. Moving now to D1, there's the one we wanted to see. Tanner Anderson with some late game heroics. Most appropriate, had the game-winning shot with 6 seconds left, and Paxton will win it by 2 over number 1 ranked Bancroft-Rosalie in the D1 tournament semifinals. Anderson had 17 points to lead. Paxton Tim Crabb chipped in with 15. Robbie Treidel had 12. And the Tigers are back in the finals. They will play the winner of the game below it. They're Falls City Sacred Heart and Shelby. That ball game is going on right now. Some good news for a local basketball player recently. Randy Gilson, who coaches now down at Loomis, is going to the finals for the second time. They took 4 free throws in the last 35 seconds to win this game. They took out Chester Hubble Byron 56-49. They will play the winner of the late game. It's going on right now between Wausau, who took out Ansley, by the way, in the quarterfinals, and Nebraska City Lourdes. So that is the update up till now on the state basketball tournament. When we come back, we're going to take a look at some highlights of games in the quarterfinals featuring some area teams, plus a look at some kind of small cheerleaders. We'll be right back. We're back with Tip-Off 2, and thanks for joining us. Now look at day 1. Not the best of days for the Raiders from Med Valley and the Indians from Broken Bow. Now, Med Valley had to play Falls City Sacred Heart in the quarterfinals. Broken Bow had to play Lincoln Christian in round 1. Lincoln Christian, folks, is a very big team. Andrew Drevo goes 6'9". Tom Cockle goes 6'5". And once they got control of this game, it was not pretty. Drevo is 6'9". He had 23 points in 3 quarters. He sat out the entire 4th quarter. He had 25 points in today's semifinal win by Lincoln Christian. Tom Cockle was 6 feet 5 inch forward. He had 15 points. They out-rebounded Broken Bow in this win, 100-53. They out-rebounded Broken Bow by a total of 48-26. Moving now to the other game. This is Curtis Medicine Valley and Falls City Sacred Heart. Dan Simon had 18 points. Nate O'Grady had 16 to lead Falls City Sacred Heart to an easy win over CMV in the D1 quarterfinals. Problem with this ball game was Med Valley was in it until the 2nd quarter when they were outscored. Well, actually, they were doubled. 30-15. Falls City Sacred Heart outscored Curtis Medicine Valley in the 2nd quarter. They go on to win it easily, 79-57. Most likely will advance to the finals of the state tournament. Changing the subject a little bit, college wrestling. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln produces more academic All-American and All-Conference athletes from various sports than any other school in the Big 12, or in the USA for that matter. And we can add 3 more to the list. If we can take a look at a scoreboard, show you a familiar name down below there, folks. Matt Zudevern. Matt is a graduate of Sand Hills High School up on Highway 2. He is a junior, majoring in veterinary science. He competed in open events only for the Huskers this year, but our kudos to this young man, a member of the All Big 12 academic wrestling team. On a lighter note tonight, the Paxton Tigers, of course, are going back to the finals at state. They beat former number 1 ranked Bancroft-Rosalie 54-52 in the D1 semis, and they'll play the winner of the Falls City Sacred Heart Shelby winner tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We should make that 5 o'clock, excuse me, in the Devaney Center. And if they win a state title, they'll have had some help from a squad of cheerleaders that go wherever the team goes. Joe Swift has this report.
This year, the Paxton basketball team is young, but they're graybeards compared to their cheerleaders. 2 second graders, a first grader, and a kindergartner are cheering for the Tiger team this year.
There were no high school cheerleaders, and so the little girls decided to go ahead and cheer.
And they know what they're doing. They may be young, but they have experience.
I started when I'm 3, and I'm going to do it also high school and stuff.
These girls get the fans fired up and love doing their favorite cheer, Bang Bang Choo Choo Train. So take in a Paxton game. You'll see some good players and hear some great cheers. But you better act fast. These cheerleaders may only be together 10 more years. At the state tournament in Lincoln, Joe Swift, News Center 2.
Finally tonight, Creighton plays Maryland in Game 2 tomorrow in the NC2A tournament, and Nebraska will play at TCU. That'll be in the 2nd round of the NIT on Monday. Time now to catch you up on the state boys basketball tournament day 2, plus all of the NC2A action today. Thanks for watching.